Hi everybody, welcome and welcome back. My name is Kimiko and I'm back to do another video today. And I want to talk about distractions, minor distractions here and there, and how to kind of deal with it from time to time. Because I know I have a lot of distractions. I'm always busy. I'm always up doing things and stuff like that. So, people in different things like to distract me, and I can, it can aggravate me. It can really make me angry because just minor distractions. But don't let those things get you to be too riled up, because that's what the devils want to do anyway. The devil wants to make you irritated and agitated by the smallest things, and they want it to build up so that you will erupt like a volcano, and you can't allow little minor things to upset you. And then just like when somebody is trying to provoke you and you're minding your business, and you're just trying to be a good person, walk the right path in life, and somebody is trying to deter you because they might be mad, or they might be being possibly used as a vessel to distract you, so you get upset, so that it could magnify, like it can magnetize, and they can try to make a little small thing into something bigger than what it is by trying to frustrate you and upset you when you're trying to accomplish a goal and get in your way. Kind of like when I be exercising and stuff, y'all, I noticed that people, I even, like when I was exercising probably like last week, I was walking around. I do a lot of what is it called, speed walking. So I'm walking, and this woman decides to stand like close to the parking lot. It starts to walk close to not the parking lot, but the entryway, or the outway of cars in the driveway, as a means to almost seem like she wanted to try to attempt to stop me from exercising somehow. Okay, to antagonize me, to provoke me to get a response that she just didn't get. And I know she was upset. She was mad. She looked like she was afraid, but she still wanted to do it. Like, I want to stall you. I want to antagonize you. I want you to forget what you were doing. Like, just about 10-15 minutes ago, I had a video idea, but I quickly forgot because I was distracted by something. And it did kind of upset me a little bit, it kind of aggravated me. I get these little distractions a lot, y'all. And I'm not going to lie, there are times when I have really exploded, like, mentally. Like, there's been a lot of instances like that, honestly, over the past 2 years, and even more, where it just can get overwhelming. And I'm a grown woman, so I have to learn how to center myself. And plus, I don't want to get into any type of trouble, regardless if it's legal or not. And I don't want to get upset. I don't want to get bothered by the most minute things. And I know that people might be trying to purposely aggravate me, and they might actually be feeling better and smug if they can get me out of character. Because this is what a lot of people do. They have nothing to do. Things will be going great in their life, or better. Even if it's not going right, they will feel like that they should have other people to join in on their misery, or that if their life is going good, they will actually, to get entertainment, mess up somebody's stuff and do things, okay, to antagonize that person, to get that person out of character that's focused, just because they might think it's fun, or because maybe they have a miserable life themselves and they want somebody else to join in. Because misery does usually love company, but boredom also likes excitement too. Okay, so you got to understand that too. You got to understand where people are coming from. And I do believe that people can be used as vessels, and people can jump bodies, or spirits can jump bodies. And I've seen a lot of evidence to suggest that I know exactly what I'm talking about in this respect. And it's about antagonism. They want people like me. First of all, I'm targeted anyway. I'm like a light worker in this world, and this has happened to a lot of people that are like me throughout humanity. Okay, humanitarians, people who want to be a voice for those who can't speak up, or don't feel like they have a voice enough to speak up. People who are, unjust, they come after people like me a lot, just like they came after Malcolm, okay? Martin Luther King's, different people in history, Siddhartha Gautama, Nichiren Daishonin, even his predecessors, like, and his, what is it called? His disciples, like in like just not too long ago, the president of my SGI, of my Buddhist organization called the Soka Gakkai International, the president that passed away probably a couple of years ago, named Daisaku Ikeda, he was persecuted. The president before him was persecuted, and the president of our SGI, our World Peace Organization, the first president of our World Peace Organization, he was persecuted. And people who want to be humanitarians throughout history, it's been noted that these people usually have been persecuted. Even President Lincoln, he was, we know Charles Wilkes Booth, who murdered him while he was at a theater. Remember that? Because he wanted to, he wanted to end slavery. Remember that? We've learned that in history. That's something that a lot of people, especially in America, know. Then, we have John F. Kennedy. And I'm not going in a specific order. I'm just thinking off of the top of my head. This is stuff that people like to do. They like to persecute. They will, I guess, quote unquote, crucify people who just want to do the right thing. And I didn't really realize that I was going to make this video like this, but it does go along with the shirt that I'm wearing, because Malcolm X, he was a stand-up guy. He had moral values. This is one of my idols. He might be a man, but he is one of my strong idols. I respect his family. I love his family. I love him. I don't care about what they tried to say about him, things they tried to say. They said stuff about Martin Luther King and XYZ. They would tap their calls. This is the type of stuff that people do. And it's really, they're pointing fingers at people like me, who just want to, have everything be fair and just peaceful and happy for once. They want to point fingers at us like we're the ones that have been doing things, and it's really them. Guilty consciences speak, because they're the ones projecting all of their, like, who goes out their way to tap phone calls? They even did that to Michael Jackson. If you think about it, they persecuted him. They do this stuff. They would even do stuff like that to Tupac. Okay? These are different people in history that these nothing ass people, and I'm not just talking about race specifically. I'm talking about people in general. This goes back to Shakyamuni Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama days, where Mara and Devadatta, if you know anything about Buddhism, because Buddhism is the first religion. So Siddhartha Gautama, Shakyamuni Buddha, he was persecuted by different people. But different people would get in his path. They would stop him from entering, towns, because they didn't like the fact that he was trying to enlighten people, help people to attain enlightenment and wake up from and lift the veil of delusion in this world and bring them to happiness, enlightenment, to be able to deal with their sufferings that's inevitable for everybody. Through enlightenment, he was trying to bring them to understand life enough to where they could deal with it. So the devilish functions, what we call in Nichiren Buddhism, they were after Shakyamuni Buddha. Devadatta, Mara, whatever you want to call him, was after Shakyamuni Buddha. Same thing happened to Nichiren Daishonin in the latter day of the law. He was the latter day of the law Buddha. Okay, Nichiren Daishonin, which is the basis, the religion that I practice, which is Nichiren Buddhism. Okay? So they persecuted Nichiren Daishonin. They persecute people like the presidents of our organization, like Tsusada Saburo Makaguchi, Josei Toda, Daisaku Ikeda. They persecuted people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, John F. Kennedy. Let me go back a little bit further, because I forgot to mention President Lincoln way back then. Then we had people like, we even had people like Nelson Mandela. You had people like even Tupac. Okay, we've had different people who have been persecuted relentlessly by the government, and different people who just do not like fairness. It's really sad, y'all. It really is pathetic, because the basis of all of this is insecurity anyway. They don't like fairness. They hate it. It doesn't matter what race they are, because like I said, back in Shakyamuni Buddha's time, he was Indian. He was Hindi. So, who do you think was persecuting him back then? It really doesn't matter what race they are. There are people, it doesn't even matter. There were people that did him dirty, that looked just like him. Okay? And there might be reasons why, that might be based off of racism and whatnot, different things, why somebody wants things to be morally corrupt. They would love for unfairness to be fair. They would love for good to be bad, and vice versa. But things are standard in the law of the universe. Karma is karma, just is just, unjust is unjust, okay? Good is good and bad is bad. Nobody escapes the wheel of karma. Nobody escapes them tables from turning. Nobody can stop the tables from turning. If it's rightfully so, whether you do good or bad, them tables gonna turn either in your favor or against you, depending on what you keep putting out into the atmosphere. So you keep provoking people and trying to disrupt their peace and harmony, and they literally are not doing anything to you, and they're minding their business. It will eventually come right back to you. Okay? Now we call people in Nichiren Buddhism who like to wreak havoc in our lives as practitioners of Nichiren Buddhism, we call them the devilish functions, which is just demons, devils, and any other religions, but we specifically call them the devilish function, who love to cause discord and anger and to antagonize a person, whether you want to label us as targeted or not. But because we don't believe in division and stuff like that, and we're fair and unbiased. I mean, I know I got my biases at times, but generally I'm an unbiased person, okay? Or at least I was taught to be unbiased and see people, like Martin Luther King said, as their character and not by the color of their skin or any creed or whatever they got going on, okay? Them as the human being that they are. Okay, I was taught this from the moment I was here on this earth. I taught that my mother went into labor with me at a Buddhist meeting, a SGI meeting. She went into labor with me. Her water broke at a Buddhist meeting. And the lady whose home that she was at, she was Panamanian. These are different people from all across the world in the SGI that my mother went into labor with me at on October 13th, 1988, in this lifetime, okay? So when she officially had me at Plano Presbyterian Hospital, my mother, there were different people there too. The doctors were different races. The person I'm named after, named Kimiko, who was a pioneer Japanese SGI member, one of the first members in the United States. Kimiko was there. She was Japanese, and her best friend Yumi Allen, who was a Japanese lady too, she was there too. And my name is Kimiko Sumi. I'm not about division. I was not really taught racism. This is something that I actually learned throughout, because I have had, everybody will say something discriminatory. Somebody come at me and they put me down about my ethnic background or whatever, then I think I have every right to come right back at them, and however the fuck they come at me at. I match his energy. I'm not playing. Nobody's going to disrespect me and think that I'm just going to be passive about it no more. That's never really been my personality anyway. People have had to dangle shit over my head, and let's see how long that works. Let's see how long that works, okay? It's not going to work long, no. Because I'm not a docile person at all. Naturally, I have a strong personality, but I know how to humble myself and say, hey, listen, I'm going to back away. I'm going to take my ass on. You see me do that all throughout my videos. Those people that be popping up in my videos in the background talking and shit like that, yapping their fucking mouth and stuff, those are people that are huge distractions and stuff. They do that deliberately. You never know if the government might be hiring them to start drama. They might be able to time my movements and stuff with different people. I don't know. I really just think that they're demons, though. Jumping out a portal, whatever they're doing. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I know there's something that's very strange going on, and I have solid proof that anything is possible almost, because this world is a concept. I was showed that through teleport and time traveling years ago in Los Angeles. That things can just magically appear. I already know that, so I know that's a possibility that entities can jump bodies. That's almost like a verifiable fact of mine at this point. Where they sit around and distract, but I do not think these type of people can time travel at all or teleport. They are not allowed. They are banned from that. They might be able to jump bodies and jump from at the same time period, but I do not think they can really jump timelines like that. No, they are forbidden. They are prohibited. That's what I believe, at least, about them. Okay, I could be right, I could be wrong, but I do know what I saw years ago when I was 27, the summer of 2016, I think, where things started just jumping out of nowhere, like on the Remember the Time video with Michael Jackson at the beginning of it, like things just kind of like Second Life. I know this is not all in my mind, okay? And I know it was actually a miracle. It actually was. And, regardless of what anybody tries to tell about me, that was a miracle. It let me know, it let me see more into what's really more of the truth about my life and this world even more, because I really do think this is just a huge computer program anyway. And I do think that there are like actually glitches in the matrix where things can, how like a computer, if something is wrong with it, kind of like glitch, like it might be something that'll show up on a computer that ain't supposed to be there at that point in time. That's stuff that I see. And I honestly be like, kind of like, even though I have proof that it could be real, I kind of be like, am I tripping? Like, I know I just saw that bathroom light on, but then I turn my head and it's dark with the door open. Like, different things like that happen. And I know I'm really not tripping and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that sometimes things be playing with my mind. Like, I know my mind can actually play tricks on me because I know that I have paranoid schizophrenia. That's a real thing. That's why I take medication. Okay, I know that medication actually works. It actually does it. Even if it is a concept. Even if different things are a concept, that concept of medication helps the concept of my mental illness in this concept or whatever it really is. It's just a verifiable fact. Just kind of like how it is like drinking coffee or taking, I say like pain medication. It's the same thing with medication, like psych medications too. And I know I'm getting off into something else, but I know I have a mental illness, but I also have an awareness to know that everything is not all in my mind. Just like that teleportation back in 2016, that was never in my mind. I had purple and black Adidas sandals to show it. I had a big tall of 7-Eleven water to show it. I saw a Holiday Inn appear and leave out of nowhere. These are things that I've seen, okay? I know. And with that right there, I can feel somebody that's trying to energetically touch me. To provoke me. These are things that people have done to me in the fucking 3D or whatever. So I know this is weird shit that they do. They'll try to touch me, to antagonize me. They do this type of stuff to get a reaction. But I'm here to let you know, don't do whatever you can to not really give them the reaction that they want. They're trying to shut you up. But sometimes you got to know when to shut up. And don't feel like a coward, don't. Because remember, usually they have a lot of people on their team. They have different things that they can dangle over your head because they're the real cowards, y'all. They're scary. They're inferior. They have insecurity issues, and I'm not just talking about race at this point. I'm talking about any and every fucking body that like to provoke people, whoever you are, unprovoked, and they know that they have a leverage over you, or they have some type of thing that they can hold over your head. They will try to make you think that they're empowered, that they're brave, that they're powerful, and they really don't have no power. It's a fucking illusion, okay? So, for the ones who, really are sick and tired of people who want to do them bad, and they're just, and you're just simply asking for respect. know that karma is real, and these people, if you are really being bothered unprovoked and they are really meaning you harm, they're gonna eventually get that karma back, because it is exempt from nobody. Nobody is exempt from karma, be it good or bad. The effect resembles the cause, okay, regardless, okay? So anyway, I'm gonna leave y'all with this video. I know it was kind of long, but if you get my point of this video and you liked it in some way or found something helpful, please comment in my comment section. Like the video if you want to. Subscribe, share my video, hit the notification bell, not in that order. And I will see y'all in another video, my lotus flowers. And for my upcoming lotus flowers, welcome to my channel. And I will see you in another one. And I will see you in another one. Peace. I'm out. Bye-bye.